now.
And you know what I'm noticing too is look at the bright spot on the left side of the screen. That's often an indication, you just mentioned it a moment ago, we're seeing the storm wrapping into it. This is dry air. Actually, if you guys could take this full and put me on top of it, I'll show you what I'm talking about here. I'll step out of the shot here for a second so you can do that. The bright spot that you're seeing on the left side of the wall cloud, that's just getting word sirens are going off in Fort Smith. So you do need to move to the safe place in Fort Smith. Right now in the Fort Smith area. And here's what's going on. Let me show you this here as we take a look at this wall cloud. The bright spot on the left side of the screen is going to be the mid-level winds which are wrapping into the storm. That's an indication that the storm is increasing. Now, the whole thing is spinning counterclockwise, so you almost have to imagine it spinning counterclockwise. And if you'll train your eyes there to the right side of the screen, that's the actual funnel which is starting to develop. See that loose piece of cloud which is rising up to the north? In fact, go ahead and zoom in. You may be able to get a couple of appendages here which are sticking out from the storm. Right in this area, if we look real close, you can see those clouds rising and slowly spinning. It is not in contact with the ground, at least at this point. Look on the left. Look how it's climbing up into there. And that's going to be moving right into the center of the storm. Very unusual to actually be able to see a tornado occur in our area during the daytime hours. Seems like we get a lot of them at night, but you can see how that's lifting up into the storm, and the funnel cloud rotating about this axis here. So we would see the tornado develop right through here. Again, this is looking on the west side of Fort Smith. Strong rotation on radar, a very clear, very classic wall cloud that's now moving in and over the Fort Smith area. If you're in Fort Smith, take your immediate tornado precautions. There's another tight look at the storm, and you can see we don't have a funnel on the ground. Go ahead and take a wider shot and let's look down towards the surface, because a lot of times you can see dust swirls which will develop before even the condensation funnel develops. But as we look off into the distance, it would be in this area, and from all indications that I'm seeing, Jason, Joe, it doesn't look like this is actually in contact with the ground just yet. What are y'all hearing from storm spotters right now?
Getting a report now, Garrett, of trees down and property damage in Spiro. This is probably from what we call RFD winds, some winds coming up behind the rotation. Also getting a report of golf ball size hail in Roland. We've got spotters all over this. Of course,
that's the hail.
We're keeping
right
a live. We're getting a live look at this storm now as it's coming into downtown Fort Smith. I'll continue to bring you updates as we get them here, Garrett, of storm spotters actually out in the area.
I'll step off the shot. I'll let you guys take a closer look at the radar here. Go ahead and pinpoint the strongest area of rotation that we're seeing right now. It looks like it's going to be moving. Unfortunately, this is going to be coming right into Fort Smith. It's right over the Braden and the Pawpaw Bottoms now. That's Highway 9 just to the north of the west side of town. So we're talking about the Whirlpool plant, also over there towards Ream off Zero Street looking northwest. That golf ball hail core that's falling over Roland, that's that bright spot. It looks like the wall cloud may be becoming a little bit disorganized, which could be a good sign. It's not as classic as it looked just a moment ago.
Yeah, that's right, and we're continuing to watch this. We're getting really close to the radar now here in Fort Smith, so some of this is going to be a little bit noisy here. Some of the data here, especially from Pawpaw, the bottoms there, Bacoshi, Arcoma, South Fort Smith. This is going to be the area of rotation right here. That's what you're looking at live on the left side of your screen. Again, we're keeping a very close eye on it. That's the area right there, Jason.
That right there is where it is, right over the Pawpaw Bottom, south of 40th, south of Roland. Here's Roland with that golf ball size hail that we've had reported here in Roland along I-40 and Highway 64 right here. Here's the Garrison Avenue Bridge, and here's Arcoma, West Fort Smith. This rotation sliding right to the northeast at 45 miles per hour. The rotation will be over downtown Fort Smith here within the next 5 to 10 minutes. So again, we have no confirmation of tornadoes, but we are getting reports from Spiro of some wind damage and wind gusts over 70 miles per hour. So take your tornado precautions now. Turn your TV all the way up if you're in the city of Fort Smith and head to the lowest level of your home, head to your closet, the most interior room in your home. Put as many walls between you and the outside winds that this possible tornado as it moves into downtown Fort Smith can be bringing. Looking at the clouds, not seeing that wall cloud, that definitive wall cloud like we saw just a few minutes ago. Joe, the rotation on this was showing signs of decreasing just a little bit as it's sliding towards the east, correct?
Yeah, it is. We're gonna have to. We're gonna really have to keep a close eye on this. It's getting right over the city. Back in the control room. Can you go ahead and back out now on that skycam shot? Let's get a wider view of this. Okay, all right. Well, let's go ahead and pan over just a little bit. Show me left and show me right, and kind of, if you can, tilt down just a little bit so I can see exactly where I'm oriented now. There we go. Thank you. All right, let's go ahead and take us back down to the southwest, where we'll be looking basically over the First National Bank building down Garrison Avenue. Again, this is something, it's coming right over toward the downtown area now, so we had a good shot of it earlier where it's kind of coming over, so it's kind of right on top of us. So anywhere, if you are in Fort Smith, in Moffett, if you're in Van Buren, get to your safe place now. This could produce a tornado at any time. What you're looking at now, that's Garrison Avenue, First National Bank building there. That's the hail core, and that is the heavy rain core right there. So we're about to get the heavy rain and the hail moving into the Fort Smith area.
Joe, you may actually have them pan up because the wall cloud is right above the Fort Smith studios now. I know that rain kind of makes it go out of focus when it pops on the lens there, but it looks like the wall cloud right over Fort Smith right now. It's pretty much right over the downtown Fort Smith area. There's the bright spot, so you'll look just to the right of this area, and this is where you're going to be looking at the rotation. The wall cloud not nearly as defined as it was earlier. Doesn't mean that the tornado threat's any lower. A lot of times these things will cycle. Look in the center of the screen there. We do have some cloud motion right towards the center, which could be some rotation right towards right over Fort Smith. Yep. Are you guys seeing this live as well?
Yeah, and that's it. You can see it there. If we can just stay on that shot right there. Well, you can see the spin. There's definite rotation. We're getting a lot of reports of people seeing the rotation. No confirmed reports of any tornadoes on the ground. Obviously, we got a very close look at this live right now with our downtown Fort Smith iCam. The rotation area moving right over the downtown Fort Smith area from Arcoma to Fort Smith, downtown Fort Smith, South Fort Smith. If you are in any one of these areas, from Fort Smith south to Bekoshi, up to Van Buren, even Mountainburg, Alma. Get to your safe place now. Put as many walls between you and this rotation as possible. Stay away from outside windows.
Joe, storm spotters are on the rotation right now over Arcoma. The rotation is over Arcoma.
That's exactly what you're seeing right on the screen. This is it's disorganized, which is good. It doesn't look like it's very organized. It could be starting to redevelop though. But this is it. This is the rotating winds within the wall cloud. You can see how it's kind of all over the place as we watch it live. It's impressive to see these images, and we're so thankful that right now we don't have a tornado in contact with the ground, but we're certainly watching this rotation real close as that storm continues to move into the area.
Garrett, we are getting golf ball.
This is closer to the surface now, huh?
Yeah, we're getting golf ball size hail over the Fort Smith studios right now in downtown Fort Smith. Golf ball size hail.
Where is our mobile camera at? Where is this at? Is this in Fort Smith? This is outside North 13th Street. So there's the wall cloud right here in the center. A tornado could fall at any time just within this area, just to the left of the screen. If they could actually pan over to the left. I believe the wall cloud's actually a little bit farther to the left there. But this is moving over North Fort Smith now. In the studio, it's probably not a bad idea here if we see any more indications of strong rotation for those of us that are in the Fort Smith studio to go ahead and take our immediate tornado precautions too until this thing actually comes through the Fort Smith area. Boy, what a nasty looking sight. There is deep, strong rotation right over North 13th Street in Fort Smith now, moving across the Arcoma area and into Fort Smith. You're looking live at a wall cloud. Look at the winds as they spin within the storm. A tornado could develop at any time as we look up into the storm. And then actually pan back down to the bottom right. I think the rotation's starting to pick up. Any reports of this thing on the ground? No reports yet, though.
Yeah, no reports yet. I'm still looking at the tornado warning, but we do have the golf ball size hail, quarter to golf ball size hail on the north side of downtown.
Quarter to golf ball hail as the storm moves through.
Golf ball to ping pong. Golf ball to ping pong size hail right now on North Fort Smith.
This is where the tornado would develop. Just stay in the middle part of your home, guys. Turn the TV all the way up. We'll walk you through this whole thing until it passes over. Tornado warning for Fort Smith. Fort Smith in the immediate path of a developing tornado. You're looking live at the wall cloud as it passes right over downtown Fort Smith, over our Fort Smith studios in the Fort Smith area. Take your tornado precautions. Get away from windows, not so much so for the tornado, but also for, well, the hail risk as well. Go ahead and go back to the skycam shot. We had a better look at it as it moved on in.
Guys, I don't know if you can hear me. I'm outside now, our Fort Smith studios, looking directly up into this area of rotation as the wall cloud passes over the area. Very vigorous rotation.
No funnels though, Joe.
No funnels. I'm looking directly up into this, and we probably have some live shots back in there of this of the rotation. If you're in Fort Smith, you're seeing the rotation, It's nasty. We're right on top of it. We're waiting for anything to develop out of this. Nothing has at the moment, but a lot of rotation within this.
Camera.
For those of us that are in the Fort Smith newsroom, you guys need to be taking your immediate tornado precautions as well in the Fort Smith newsroom that are watching us anywhere in Fort Smith. Don't play with this thing. You can see the strong rotation on it. It could develop a tornado at any time. You can see the vigorous upward motion. There towards the bottom is where this whole thing is spinning. A very strong storm with strong rotation now passing over North Fort Smith. No reports of any damage. You can see the rotation here on the screen as we watch it live. Not showing anything on the ground. Boy, that is the clearest rotation that we've seen in a long time on our Skycam shot. Look towards the back clouds, how they're moving in one direction and how the clouds in the front are moving in another direction. Strong rotation over North Fort Smith. Van Buren, Alma, heads up. 10 minutes away, this is going to be in your area. You're looking live at a wall cloud and developing tornado over the Fort Smith area. In North Fort Smith, we're under the immediate threat of a tornado. In South Fort Smith, stay inside until it passes. A lot of times these can shift directions. You're looking live. It looks like, guys, from the surface, we may have a funnel cloud forming.
Yeah, we're continuing to look at this actually increasing. The rotation signatures on radar, Garrett, are increasing. We've got another TVS, a tornado vortex signature, and that means that it's lowering. The rotation
Look at the rapid rotation in the front of the screen.
Yeah, exactly. We could be seeing the developing tornado. It looks like it's just to the south of Garrison Avenue, looking southwest towards the Arkansas River, over towards the Pensacola area. That's where the direction right there. Still looking at that.
That could be a funnel which is developing now.
Yeah.
Look at the rapid rotation here in the center of the screen. I know we're looking at this wall cloud and we're watching it real close, but can we also loop real quick the radar image? Because I know we're under the immediate threat of a tornado in Fort Smith, but also keep in mind, this isn't just Fort Smith. This is going to be coming towards Van Buren, also possibly the east side of Fort Smith, UA Fort Smith. You guys need to be taking your tornado precautions now. Looks like it's going to be passing over North Fort Smith, Clayton Expressway, Grand Avenue, 540 North, Interstate 40, and eventually this rotation is going to go over downtown Van Buren. So we're talking Main Street Van Buren, the Cloverleaf area, the northeast side of Fort Smith, over by the bottoms. This rotation now moving over Fort Smith. Let's go ahead and get a wider shot back to the Skycam image because it's the most definitive on exactly what's taking place.
Bring me up back there. I am right outside our Fort Smith studios looking directly up into this rotation as it passes the area. Nothing dropping out of it now, but very organized rotation developing out of this storm. Boy, just it's starting to tighten up just a little bit. Kind of messy back down toward the Garrison Avenue as far as low clouds. But
there's the rotation.
Not seeing anything
no
drop
funnels,
out
though.
of this. No, nothing dropping
Hey, Joe,
out
if you
of
need
it.
to take shelter, go ahead and do that. Okay. This is real close to you.
Guys, while we're looking at this, also very strong winds are moving into the south side of Fort Smith. I'm going to check the airport observations here, but this wraparound, what we call this rear flank downdraft, which is the air wrapping, the cold rain air, the cooled rain air, moving in towards